I had that anxiety of moving abroad, how it's going to be, how the life is there, or how will I survive there? So I think if anybody who is planning to come to Canada, somebody's already here. Students, I'm talking about specifically students, right? It's very beneficial for them to listen to those because all these people are professional. Before you go to the next question, Urja, you were also, I believe, you also started listening to the podcast before you even came to Canada. Tell me, how was that experience for you like?
You are kind of putting out the content that we need. It's like, I'll say, it's not a want, it's a need. My thick accent is kind of a need for the immigrants.
Wow,
So I
big
guess,
words.
yeah, so I guess everybody should tune in. Hi, and welcome back to my lovely viewers. My name is Urja, and I welcome you back to another beautiful episode of Empowered Journey series. So, as you all know, I always start my episode by giving a brief introduction of my guest. So, I would really like to steal this opportunity to introduce you to an amazing podcaster of a podcast called My Thick Accent. Welcome, Gurasis Singh to our Empowered Journey series.
Thank you. Thank you, Urja.
Yeah, we're super delighted to have you with us today. So I would rightly, jump into this video.
Sure.
I would like to ask you a question. Okay, so I know you have a lot of listeners to your podcast, but still, if any of the viewers, they're watching this video for the first time and they haven't heard about My Thick Accent, how would you describe My Thick Accent to them?
Great question. Great start to the interview. First of all, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you to you and to the Watts group for this amazing series. And I think it's necessary to have such conversations to give the right information, impart the right knowledge right from the start before people are coming. So, answer to your question, yes, the podcast I host and I am the founder of the podcast. It's called My Thick Accent. And the podcast is about, I basically aim to break some stereotypical molds that we immigrants are asked to fit in because we are way beyond our accents or our looks. And I also wanted to bring forth the stories of immigrants, who have made it big here, who have really made an impact in their immigrant journey. They have gone through, and I want to bring forth the story so I can encourage people, who are new immigrants or aspiring immigrants that, hey, if he or she can do it, you can do it as well. So I bring forth those guests every week and I talk about their journeys to unfold their personal journeys of struggle, resilience, and the whole process of finding home away from home and navigating a life here. So yeah, I think I think that's how I think I would define for anybody who doesn't know about my thick accent. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a beautiful explanation of My Thick Accent. You rightly said that you really want to bring those stories forward, who have made it here, moving from their countries and started from scratch and have achieved so good, and have made, it sets great examples for all the coming immigrants as well. So Gurasis, in your explanation, you mentioned that you're trying to break the stereotypical molds. When you say that, what are you trying to say? Like, what kind of molds are you referring to?
This is also like a very controversial question because it can go either ways. It just depends how a person interprets it. But how I interpret is, first of all, I'll say that in no way I'm trying to point fingers at anybody. That hey, you did this to me. You talked to me this way. You didn't acknowledge my accent. You asked me to repeat things 20 times. And all those things. But basically, what I meant is that I don't blame the people also who are here. And by stereotypes, I meant the stereotypes related to our looks. Like in my case, I wear a turban. My turban is right in your face. That's the first thing you notice when I enter a room.
Yeah.
And obviously, I am not in Punjab. I'm in Montreal to be specific right now, and there are not enough turban wearing people, right? And if I enter a room, sometimes I might be the only person wearing turban in the room, and I might be the only person with this thick Indian accent as well. So I don't want to be defined by those, because we all have those preconceived notions about certain nationalities, certain people of color. We do have those prejudices, and I think I don't want people to really define us or even like confine us up until those things that you are seeing, visually, because we are way beyond that, right? We are not defined by all these things, yes, it is our identity and we should be proud of it. But if you are, for example, not giving us a job just because I wear a turban, you're
Yeah.
not giving me the job, a client facing role, just because I have a certain accent. So that's not something I want people to struggle with, and I think I have unfortunately gone through few experiences, and I'm not bitter about that. I'm happy they happened because of all the experiences I'm able to share that knowledge with people right now. So yeah, that's what I meant when I want to break those stereotypical molds, because once again I'll repeat, we are way beyond our accents and our looks. Yeah.
Thank you for such an amazing answer. So, in short, I'll say you just don't want that anybody should ever box us,
Absolutely.
considering our nationality, where we coming from, our accent, the way we look, because everybody is beautiful, in their own way. So, thank you so much for this beautiful initiative and beautiful description.
Thank you.
So, that was actually going to be my second question, but you already answered that. What motivated you to start this? I guess you very well explained this is what your motivation is behind, starting Mathik Accent. So most of my consumers for this series is gonna be international students majorly. So how do you think MyTech Accent, can help those international students, who have recently moved or who are planning to move, they are still deciding whether they should move other country or not. How do you think MyTech Accent can help them?
Whenever somebody is planning to move, very initial questions which I had, I had that anxiety of moving abroad, how it's going to be, how the life is there. Even if the course I'm getting, is it like the right course? Am I going to the right city? Will I get the job or not? Or, how will I survive there? Like I'll be going to do everything on my own. I'll be doing my house chores on my own. I have to find a house. I have to do all these things myself. I have to do my taxes myself. I might have to start cooking myself. So many of these questions, and you have an anxiety and anxiousness in you. Obviously excitement, because you'll be going to a new country and it's abroad, and we are just grown up seeing all these skyscrapers and beautiful buildings and clear skies, growing up in our movies, I would say, to be specific, Bollywood movies, right? You have seen that growing up, and we always wanted to go abroad. So yes, you're excited, but all other aspects, when you are sitting 7 seas apart, you have so much going on in your mind that how it's going to be. You have so much like a stress also to some extent. Your parents also think about it, that, oh my God, I'm sending my child alone in this new world to go and survive, right? So I give all these examples, the reason being the people I'm bringing, we talk about all these things right from the time they were planning to come. Why did they come to a certain city? Why they chose the certain course? What actually they did after they graduated? How they navigated the life here? Like we discussed briefly about the accents. How are they able to communicate with people here? Yes, because it's the truth. The Indian English is very different from Canadian English, right? We talk about that. We talk about even some racism to some aspect. And I say that not in a negative way, again, because these things just exist, and it is what it is, right? And the thing is, we sometimes have those conversations where we do talk about all these things, racism as well, but we also make sure to tell you that don't get bogged down by those comments, because once again, you are not here to get demotivated by those comments or get bogged down by that. You have to have blinders towards that hate speech. So we talked about that. We talked about all these things. Even we talk about food a lot. I am a foodie. I love food. I've tried different cuisines here. Talked about food as well, that how we still sometimes end up cooking the fusion dishes. Like we come from India, then we adapt something from here, something comes from French, something comes from this and that, and we infuse that together and create something, because you have to survive. So it's like all these things I discuss. And most importantly, obviously, this is the life, right, which is going to happen the whole time you will be coming abroad. But the main thing is obviously the career. I do bring people who are professionals in their career. Everybody I bring, they have professionals in their career, and they have something or the other thing to offer. And I think I have touched various roles and domains. Somebody who is a like financial expert, somebody who works in a bank, somebody who is a career coach, somebody who has also been into some sort of like a different sort of roles, right? Somebody who's also a YouTuber I have brought on. Somebody wants to get into that. Somebody wants to get into content creation, and what are the roles? Somebody who wants to get into marketing. So I myself am an advertising professional. So we bring all those various roles and domains. I bring on them on the podcast. We talk about their journeys. We talk about their careers. And the best thing is, the people I'm bringing on, we are once again touching every topic possible, that can help them get start in their new journeys as well, new careers as well. So I think if anybody who is planning to come to Canada, somebody's already here. Students, I'm talking about specifically students, right? It's very beneficial for them to listen to those, because all these people are professionals and you have the opportunity to know their story and then reach out to them that, hey, you have a starting point to the conversation. That, hey, for example, reaching out to Urja, that, hey Urja, I listened to your episode and you're talking about this journey. I really like this part about your journey. I really loved how you got started in this career. I really loved how you prepared. You have a starting point to talk to those people. I can say, and then Urja will be like, oh, it's like a very personalized message sent by this person. Let me get back to this person. And people anyways do get back to you, especially in Canada. Reach out to them on LinkedIn. So yeah, basically the thing is, all these people I'm bringing, they all are ready to lend a helping hand to you if you are new in this new country, and they can definitely impart that knowledge, the challenges that they have gone through. And once again, it's not limited to international students. I do bring people who are here, who came here with the permanent residency, who came here on the work permits, who got married to Canadians and they came here, and who have immigrated recently in the 5-10 years, or who have actually moved here like decades ago, like 2 decades ago, 20, 30 years before. I've spoken to those people as well. So all aspects, all people from all walks of life I'm bringing on, and we talked about everything that can accelerate an immigrant's journey in Canada.
Yeah, I guess I'm really touched with the last line, like that can actually, accelerate, how the journeys they're gonna be. Because as you mentioned, that's true. Like when you have that start, somebody's journey, how they started and what eventually, they achieved so far. You get that starting point to start that conversation. And Canada is all about, networking, talking to people, learning from them, and when we are getting a chance to know somebody inside out. And for example, I'm listening to somebody who is in marketing and I want to get into that space to know their journey. This is how they started. These are the certifications they did. These were the, I'll say that, limitations they faced while they were in their journey. Maybe I won't be making those mistakes because I have learned from his mistake or her mistake by listening to the podcast. So yes, so it, in a way, my thick accent has something for anybody and everybody. So I guess everybody, who is planning to move, it doesn't matter, on which basis they're planning to move, they should tune in and they should learn about the journeys, and then they see if it actually relates with them. Are they really ready for this journey? Are they ready for this roller coaster? So I guess my thick accent will give you that indication for sure.
Yeah. Before you go to the next question, Urja, you were also, I believe, you also started listening to the podcast before you even came to Canada. Tell me, how was that experience for you like before you moved?
Yes, so of course, my thick accent has been a great part of my journey so far. It has not even been a year, but I feel like it's been 10 years already in Canada because I started listening to my thick accent, while I was in India. Maybe it was 1 year back before I started listening to different stories. And I remember listening to these stories and, getting inspired that, okay, this is how it's going to be. And I was in a way getting prepared because I could see that the ending was always beautiful. The journeys has had their roller coaster ride, but the endings has been mesmerizing. So I knew that I'm ready for it. And also that's how, I connected with you once I moved here. And as you said, Canada is actually a country where people are going to lend you that, helping hand. It's just you need to have that confidence in yourself and believe that, yeah, you are here to make your mark and just go ahead, connect with the right people, consume content like my thick accent, I'll say, for sure, without any doubt, and just get started with your beautiful journey. So I hope I
Thank you for listening. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I just love this. I love my tech accent. I love this beautiful initiative. That's why we knew that we're gonna have you here at Impart Journey series, because students should know that there are amazing resources out there, and once they started consuming this content, they'll actually get the reality check, and which
Yeah,
is very much required, especially at this moment. That reality, you have to get into that, and then everything's gonna be smooth for you.
100%. Yeah.
So, last but not the least, a very important question. So, you have recently completed your first season. So, you
Yes.
are so far down 50 episodes. So, tell us one thing, what that you have actually learned after listening or talking to these 50 immigrants from all over the world. Like, what is that one thing that you feel like this has been my takeaway so far?
It's a
And
very tough question
I
to
know
answer
it is. I know.
because I think with each episode, I have learned something or the other thing. And yeah, I think it's very hard for me to answer. But since you asked me,
But
let
still,
me,
you'll have to answer.
I will answer. I will definitely answer. I'm thinking that something I learned in general about myself with these conversations is that which is even something which I would like to say to anybody who is thinking of starting something, as a passion project,
Mhm.
that uh, perfection is the enemy of the good. I will say that because I am a little bit like that person who always, was seeking that perfection, that let me do that. Or even like with my each episodes initially, I have to edit them nicely. I have to do this and that, which is necessary sometimes, but not all the time.
Hmm.
Sometimes, if you always seek for the perfection, you might not putting that episode out there. And I think I would have never put some episodes out if I always seek for that perfection. So I think sometimes it's okay to go with the good, learn with your journey, learn from your mistakes. I think start your journey and just love, laugh, live your life to the fullest. That's how I would say that. That's what I have learned in my this 1 year. And again, I think from each episode, I have learned a lot, Urja, from each story, each episode. Each journey has made me more grateful about the things I have. It has made me count my blessings a little more at times, because we do have this tendency to question, that why this happened with me, why this I'm doing this. You always have this tendency, and sometimes it's okay also to question, because sometimes you have to find some solutions as well. But I think in general, we do have to count our blessings and grateful for the things that you are blessed with. So yeah, I would say that. I hope I answered. I tried to,
You did. You tried
but
your
again,
best. Let me just say you tried your best. No, but yeah, that's a beautiful answer. That you can't every time run behind, being a perfectionist. And especially when, like you mentioned, if it's a passion project, so you will eventually do well in it. You'll keep on getting better at it. So the
yeah,
first thing that you need to keep in your mind is that you have to be a doer. And then with time, of course, your work is gonna get better, and it will reach the kind of audience you're trying to reach. Like your mythic accent reached to me. Your mythic accent actually reached to people who, like, we could connect to your content because we knew like this is a journey that we're gonna start, and you are kind of putting out the content that we want, we need. It's like, I'll say, it's not a want, it's a need. Mythic accent is kind of a need for the immigrants.
wow,
So I
big
guess,
words.
yeah,
Thank
so I
you.
guess everybody should tune in and learn from these journeys and learn from your story as well. We're going to learn more about you. Maybe we're going to do a second episode with you to know more about your journey, of course, because like you mentioned, you are into advertising. So maybe a student, who wants to get into this, you can share amazing insights. Why not? So we're
Yeah,
going to do that for sure. But so we'll be, closing this conversation. It has been lovely to have you here. Thank you for all your time and, coming and talking about Mythic Accent, a beautiful initiative. So thank you.
thank you for having me. Pleasure talking to you like always. And thank you to you and to Watts Group, for having me. Amazing. Thanks.
Thank you so much.